Yes, Sarah, it seems it is becoming. And this is not what I am saying. Eminent Indian journalist of the caliber of Shekhar Gupta is saying that the sort of accusation that India is now levying on Canada and its government is transforming Canada into a Pakistan or even Pakistan plus in the Indian narrative. When Shekhar says that, he has reasons behind it. He says that the Indian government is accusing Canada, one of the G7 countries, as harboring Indian terrorists and those who are involving in drug trafficking, organized crime. So these were some of the accusations which were never levied on Pakistan. But Canada is being said that Canada is responsible for all these things. So that is the reason that Shekhar Gupta came out with this very interesting terminology that Canada is being transformed slowly and gradually into Pakistan or even Pakistan plus. And this would have long-term ramifications on geopolitical level. After all, Canada is not Pakistan. Its voice is heard all around the globe. From Washington to London to Paris, everyone tunes to what Canada is saying. So that means the sort of image that Mr. Modi was trying to build for himself after hosting the G20 summit, he was trying to build a macho, a muscular image of himself and of India that could be under threat. And as the Daily Telegraph put it today, I believe, on Tuesday the 26th, it seems the Telegraph is saying that the Western countries could be rethinking the sort of strategic alliance they have been pursuing with India. And some of those sort of rethinking could result in ditching India to some extent, or despite the fact that India is their requirement in their fight against China. So this is a changing world, and at least for the time being, Modi he seems to have lost this round of the battle. You see, as I mentioned, that Canada is not Pakistan and is a part of G7. Secondly, Canada is also a part of I5, as they call that, the Five Eyes, who share intelligence details amongst each other about what is happening in the world. Now, although the support that Canada got initially from its G7 partners was not that loud as some in Canada had expected. But, and that is a big but, that the hard evidence of Indian involvement, that hard intelligence was provided one of the I5 countries. Some of it was developed and gathered by the Canadian intelligence structure as well. But a very interesting part of it was provided by one of these countries. Now, who that country could be? There has been a lot of speculation going on, and some feel there are hints that was being provided, that information was provided by the Americans. Now, if that is the case, this also means that the Americans cannot stay back, cannot stay aloof from all these accusations. They are behind it. They may not be saying it very openly indeed, for their own strategic reasons, but this might result in rethinking of the relationship with India of all these countries. Now, it has a domestic issue as well, that until now, Justin Trudeau and his government have not put all the cards on the table. They have been vague. They have indeed pointed at India, but did not come out with some evidence. And that has resulted in some feeling here that maybe the evidence with him is not that strong. But that doesn't seem to be the case, because last Thursday, while in New York for attending the UN General Assembly, Trudeau was asked this question, and he said that we did not put it out without looking at it very closely, very minutely, that this has really happened. When a week, 10 days back, he was in New Delhi, he brought up this issue with Mr. Modi in very open terms. And many people hear that the cold shoulder and the snub that Mr. Trudeau received in New Delhi was also for the reason that Justin Trudeau pointed it out to Mr. Modi himself, that this is happening. Your people were involved in killing one of the Canadians, and that is unacceptable today. So what I'm trying to say, that it seems that the Canadian government has not put all its cards on the table as yet, and that has resulted in some question marks here. I could see it even today's newspaper, on Tuesday's newspaper, that what evidence we have got, people are commenting. But that means that something could be in the offing over the next few days. Maybe the Canadian government could come out with more information on this accusation. So they must be having solid proof. Allies will have to get firmly behind it, despite the fact that India is being pampered today as a strategic ally of most of the Western powers. And that has resulted in consequences, from economic consequences as well to political consequences. On economic front, Indians are sending, the number of Indian students here in Canada is somewhere between 250,000 to 300,000. When I go out on the streets, just tons of Indian students roaming around, getting out from the college and all these places, and they are visibly Indian. So they are in much large numbers, and they are a source of funding to colleges and universities. Now, if for one reason or the other, India pulls them out, it could mean that the source of funding to Indian colleges will dry down. But it also means that those Indians may find it hard to go to another Western country in such large numbers and get education, and then even have the opportunity to stay there, work there, and get the status of a permanent resident. Thirdly, and the most importantly, these students and the immigration from India, Indians are perhaps the largest new immigrants in this part of the world in Canada. That could also be question marked after all these things. And before making this explosive announcement of this bombshell of accusing India into the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, Canada had already announced that it is shelving the ongoing discussion with India, the ongoing trade talks with India on a trade treaty. So it is going to have long reverberations. The announcement was seismic. It will have results, and it will take months and perhaps even years to mend and bring back the relationship between the two countries to the level that it was about a year or 14 months before.